This is quite honestly the worst looking villager farm that has ever existed in the history of Minecraft. Okay, so I have a few things I want to do today to get this done. Number one, move the villagers from out of this ugly box and into an actual pen for breeding so we can have more of them. Right now, I'd say we have about, maybe like 4 or 5 of them, but I definitely want more. So we're going to be doing that. Second, we're going to fill in all of these ugly holes because, well, they're ugly. Third, we're going to make an actual automatic sugarcane farm so I don't have to wait for a piece of sugarcane to grow once every 30 minutes to trade to my villagers. And fourth and last, we're going to make an actual good-looking trading hall in this area right here so, you know, it's pretty and aesthetic and nice and epic looking. But before we get to any of that, first I have to catch you guys up on a few things that I did while I wasn't recording. Okay, so first of all, if we come down here, you will see that we have done a complete revamp of the basement. Remember how I said a couple episodes back that I was going to prettyfy it at some point, and it sounded really sarcastic, like I wasn't ever going to do it? Well, I actually did it. And I really like it. I think it's really pretty, right? We have all our stuff organized over here. There's not a ton of chests, because then I'll have a ton of stuff. But, yeah. This is a dog that I found. Her name is Nora. I lost my diamond tools trying to get her, but I love her. These are actually different diamond tools from what I had because I had a creeper blow up on me when I was trying to get Nora, but we love her. I don't have a bone on me right now, but we love her. Second of all, if we come around here to the back, I have made a new farm. We had our little one over there, which produced maybe like 30 wheat every time it grew. Not that much. And honestly, this doesn't grow much either, but it's more than the other. And considering my main source of food right now is bread, I need a lot of wheat. Third, you might have already seen this when I was looking over to my other wheat farm. This is a dock that I am trying to make. It's still a work in progress and honestly pretty ugly right now. I haven't really figured out what exactly I want to do with it, but again, it's a work in progress and we'll get there eventually. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled programming. God, it took me so many tries to say that right. Okay, so after a while, we managed to get all of our villagers in here. I actually shouldn't say all because a couple of them died along the way. One of which being Jimmy John. It was really sad. But we have another mending villager. But his prices are more than double those of Jimmy John. Jimmy John's was 14. This guy is 32. But we have one. So, which is all that matters. I can get that many emeralds, it'll just take longer. What we use to get them over here is this inefficient, ugly little pathway that I built them that they could just walk in and I could block off for when I didn't want them to go back. Is it the most efficient way of doing things? Absolutely not. There are much easier, much better ways of doing it. But if there's one thing that I've learned about myself while playing Minecraft, I am scrappy, okay? I will find the least efficient, worst way of doing things that take the most amount of time, but goddammit will I find a way to do it. So this is kind of an example of that. But anyway, my plan after I breed these guys up and get a couple more villagers is to move them in this hole that I dug out over here, which I will eventually prettyify to be something much nicer looking and presentable, but right now it's in a really ugly phase. But honestly, all we need it right now to be is to be in existence, which it is, so we'll worry about all the aesthetic details later. But for now, let's get breeding. So after a little bit of thinking, I have had a change of plans in my project. See, originally I was going to build a sugarcane farm somewhere in here so I could get paper to trade for emeralds, but then after I saw a couple of videos, I realized that you can trade fisherman string for emeralds. Although I don't have a steady income of string right now, I remembered that the other day in this mesa over here, I came across a mine shaft that actually had a spider spawner in it. So honestly, I think a more efficient and effective way to get emeralds would to just trade the string that we get from the spider spawner to this fisherman over here to have basically infinite emeralds. So I'm gonna replace the sugarcane farm step with getting that spawner over there set up into an actual farm that we can use. And also, if you come over here, you can see that I started on a little rough draft of kind of what I want the decorations to look like inside. It's nothing fancy right now. It's just a general kind of color palette. Oh, what do I want it to look like? But we'll make it fancier. And then I haven't finished it at all, obviously, but I'll put all the villagers in here, and I've dug out this little part of the floor right here so I can easily boat them all into here. I am gonna move the villagers in there, and then, yeah. So we've moved all of our villagers in here. These two, I don't know why, I can't find where I put their workstations, but I've already traded with them, so I don't think it really matters whether or not I have them. I don't know if they're going to despawn or not if they do that. I could just be making that up, but I have a few name tags, so I think I'm just going to name tag them just in case. But anyway, our next step is to get this entire mess of sandstone cleaned up, and then we will go build the spider spawner, build the rest of this, and then be done. So yeah. Also, I'm thinking about just tearing the rest of this village down, considering we have all of our villagers inside the trading hall already. Like, I don't see much of a point of keeping all these buildings up. They don't look great, and it's not they don't really have any purpose in being here anymore. So again, I just don't think there's much of a reason for them to be there. And I could also do something right here that would look so much better than what this just auto-generated village is, but I'm still kind of on the fence about that, so we'll see. So I actually just did have a good idea. I think I am gonna get rid of this village. I think that I'm gonna tear all of this down, but instead of just leaving it like as empty desert, I'm gonna kind of rebuild it, but with this color palette that I used down here for this little entrance cave thing. And it's a really nice palette, and I like it a lot, and I think if we just rebuild this village just a little bit differently with different blocks, it'll look so much nicer, so much cleaner, and it will actually look like something aesthetic. So I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think we're actually going to get to building it until we finish the Warped Fortress, but once we finish the Warped Fortress, I think that's the build I'm going to plan next. I'm starting to think I'm in love with this Warped Wood. It's the second time I've used it in a project this big. So for this part, I decided to do this part of the video with Replay Mod because it's been something that I've been wanting to try out for a while now, and as you can see, I'm not the best at it. It's my first time using it. But hopefully, once I learn to use it a little bit better, I can apply it to some more of my videos to make them look a lot better. I decided to use it for making this spider spawner, just to test it out and see how it was. And also, the design for the spider farm was by Markhor on YouTube. He has a short about it that was made like a year ago or so by the time that I'm recording this. So go check out him if you want to see how I did it. Anyway, let me know if you guys like the replay mod or not, because it's completely experimental. So we have the spider farm all set up after a while, and it took me a little bit to finally figure out how exactly you're supposed to do it, but we got it. And now we can go and trade all this string I got to our little fishermen over in the village and get basically infinite emeralds as long as we sit here and kill a few more spiders. You know, a lot of people say that acacia is like the worst kind of wood, and while like it's hard to like mine, as you can see by me jumping, it's honestly like I don't think it's as ugly as people make it out to be. This gray can be used in so many different ways, and if you strip it or like make it into planks, you can use it in some really pretty contexts that you just can't use with some of the other blocks in this game. Like, some of the blocks in this game deserve a lot more hate than they get, but acacia just seems to get all of it. I think if you make a house just purely out of acacia planks, then yeah, I think it'll be ugly. But honestly, that goes for like most blocks. If you build a dirt hut and you use nothing but dirt and you don't try to make it pretty at all, it's not gonna look good. And people know that. But people do the same thing with acacia and then expect it to look good when it's really not. When it really has the potential to look like something much better. But they just, because they hate acacia so much, they just refuse to believe that it can be anything more than it is in its base form. Anyway, that was my short rant on Acacia. And now we can come back into here and trade with Mr. Fishy Man for some emeralds. And now look at that. So that spawner spider basically means that we can have infinite emeralds as long as we don't trade with this guy too much to the point where it X's out his trade, which is really nice and I think is a good replacement for our sugarcane solution, because if I'm going to be honest, I don't think I could have effectively made that sugarcane farm in an effective amount of time. I am not good at redstone. Okay, so as promised, I finished up some of the walls and ceilings in here, and I made a little design for the parts around the villagers. I think it turned out really good. I struggled with it for a little bit, but I got it all figured out in the end, and I think this is really nice. I think it's a little bit like a gradient in a way, with this orange kind of blending in with the brown, and then this dark brown blending in with the dark blue up here, the purplish. And I think it all ties together really nicely when you look at it. The only thing that bothers me is that there's this really thick line coming down here, but honestly, I'm just gonna think about it a different day, because that's annoying. And as you can see, I kind of started the floor, but I kind of got impatient and just stopped. But yeah, that'll be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, do the things that all YouTubers tell you to do, and like and subscribe. And yeah, bye! Also, thank you guys so much for 50 subscribers. I did not expect that follow-up video to get as many views as it did, so thank you. Okay, now, bye!